Hi, we're Robin and Claire, and we believe in relationships.
I'm Dr. Robin Reddick. I'm a marriage and relationships coach, a relational ministries pastor, and a leadership and training developer. And this is my wife, Claire.
Hi. We've been married for 23 years. During that time, I have been a full-time working mom and a stay-at-home mom. And currently, I'm part-time working and still a mom. I help with communications and event planning for students and other groups at our church.
Right now, we're at the Marietta Bridal Show. That's the sound.
Georgia Bridal Show.
Georgia Bridal Show. That's the sound
doesn't know
you're
where
hearing in the
he
back.
is,
Not
but
usually. Thankfully, I have
we
her.
are
And we'll
here,
talk
yeah.
about why we need each other. So that's where we are, and the reason is it gives us a chance to talk to married couples about their marriage and invite them to a free workshop that we offer in the community. In fact, we teach a lot of workshops on marriage, relationships, families, and leadership, and our purpose in it is the same one as for our channel. We want to help you succeed in your relationships in a way that's good for you, but also good for the other people in them. We want you to bring out your best and their best, bring each other up to another level in your relationships. Now, to be transparent, our view of humanity does shape the way we talk about relationships. But you don't have to agree with that to agree that relationships are important or to even be friends with us. We just want you to know where we're coming from. We believe that God made relationships, and He did that to help human beings succeed in greater things than they could do on their own, and also to experience meaning in those things. We also believe, because we've been married and been in friendships and been at workplaces and those sorts of things, that relationships can be hard, especially the closer relationships. And they can be risky too, because the closer you allow someone to get to you, the more inside your protective walls they get. They could either bring you great care and do great things for you, or bring you some hurt. So we believe that God gave us Himself and the Bible to help us navigate those relationships so they are all that we would hope they would be. Now, really smart people who study culture also say relationships are important. A standout example is Abraham Maslow, who in 1943 published a motivational theory that covered innate human needs from the super basic needs all the way up to the highest level needs of human beings.
Oh, I think I remember that. That's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right?
Right.
It's like the pyramid thing. Let's see, I learned that in school. Let's see if I can still remember it. On the bottom level, the basic level, that's things that you need to survive, like food, water, air to breathe. It's pretty important. And then you move up to safety and security, like shelter, clothing, things like that. And then there's self-esteem, and then the pinnacle of everything is self-actualization.
Right.
Wait, though, I'm missing something. What am I missing?
Relationships.
Oh, that's a big miss right here when we're talking about relationships, isn't it?
Right. It turns out they're right in the middle. We need relationships, he discovered, to move into those higher levels of living, to achieve great things. We need each other. Claire just said it. I needed her to even know where I was today. So we need each other to do great things and also to find meaning in those things. So it turns out that God says relationships are important for those two things. Really smart people who study culture say relationships are important for those two reasons. And it turns out, if we're honest with ourselves, you and I say relationships are important every day. We prove it all the time.
We do. How do we do that?
We're always trying to get into them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, think about it. Anytime you go anywhere, you're kind of looking, scouting out, seeing who can you bond with, who can you kind of form some sort of a relationship so you're not alone.
Right. We're always trying to get into friend groups. We're trying to get into other clubs and organizations, be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. And, of course, we date and we marry. In fact, even in this day, when there are many people in the world who are writing articles that say things like, well, maybe marriage is outdated, maybe we don't need marriage, maybe we don't even need to be married to raise children and have them be healthy, a lot of these same people eventually get married. I wonder what they do with those articles after they do.
I don't know.
It's almost like we're drawn to marry from something inside us. In fact, we believe that is the case because the Bible does say that is the case. So it turns out that relationships matter. So that's not the question. The question is then, what kind of relationship will we have? And I don't mean friendship, on a team, dating, or marriage. I mean, in all those kinds, how will we approach those relationships? How much value will we ascribe to the other people in them? Well, there are kind of 4 approaches to how we could do that. The first is the I'm the center of the universe approach. I'm the only person in my relationships, or at least the only one who matters. Well, it turns out that those who live that way end up becoming hateful people over time. Psychologists who study this stuff realize that as we begin to mistreat other people more, we begin to hate them more. As we begin to devalue them, we begin to mistreat them. And so this spiral happens where we begin to devalue the others around us, mistreat them, and then begin to hate them. And we also begin to do the same thing of us because we begin to dislike ourselves because of the way that we treat other people. That doesn't sound like a good road to go down.
No, it certainly doesn't.
So-
and the second option,
Yeah, we need something else. What is it?
yeah, let's see if this one sounds any better to you. The second option is you're super nice to everyone. That doesn't sound so bad, but you take it to the extreme. You are a pleaser. You have low expectations of how people will treat you, and you're always trying to exceed their expectations and how you treat them, and you end up being a human doormat. People are walking over you all the time. You don't value yourself, and no one else values you. Now, the danger in this is you end up fearing relationships, avoiding them even. Avoid all men, they're only gonna hurt you. Avoid all women, they're out to get you. Just be an island, avoid all relationships altogether. This really isn't living at all. You're avoiding all relationships.
Right, that doesn't sound very good. That's certainly not going to get us into that higher level of living. So what else? Well, there's the pit fighter approach, and that is I'm going to approach every relationship I have as a contest. I want to get the most out of it while I'm giving up the least to it. At least make sure it breaks even. If I do this, they better do that. If they do that, I'm gonna do this. If they do that bad thing, I'm gonna do this bad thing, and try to keep it even. But as I just said, if we're honest with ourselves, we're really trying to stay ahead. We're trying to be on top of the relationship to win for ourselves. So that doesn't seem to be so good either.
Not really. Is there something else?
Yeah, let's go for a 4th approach, and that is the interdependence approach. That approach says, I will value the other people in my relationship equally as I value myself. So we'll do things like pool our resources, share our strengths, help one another with our weaknesses, give each other important things like commitment, trust, care, respect. That's called interdependence. And it turns out men and women who live that way do achieve greater things in their relationships and through their relationships. Teams that operate that way go further. They win more games. Businesses that operate that way win more clients. And married couples who live that way stay married and they like their marriage. So if you want to bring out the best in your relationships and do it in a way that brings out the best in everybody in them, we'd like to partner with you because that's what we want too. So let's team up.
Yeah, you can like, subscribe, or share.
We can also have a rapport. We'd love to hear from you and connect with you. If you have questions about something you're going through in your relationship, reach out to us. You can email us or you can comment below and we'll connect back with you and share. You can also help to encourage other people. Maybe you've dealt with something in a relationship and learned a good way to do it and you feel like someone else could benefit from that. We'd love for you to share that in the comments below too. So there are lots of ways we can team up. Here's the key message. Relationships matter. God values you, and God values your relationships. We value you, and we value your relationships too. So let's team up and bring out the best in our relationships.
Yeah, let's be for one another.